Hello everyone. I think YouTube is recording. Okay, I'm live. So I am actually live going to YouTube. I'm going to Facebook and hopefully LinkedIn. Okay. Actually, LinkedIn is not getting me. So we're trying this out, testing. Hey YouTube, how you doing? And I know that my I know that my I know that my not destined to you, but my tax tips, you guys are getting me fine. Hopefully YouTube is doing the same. And I wanted to come on real quickly because I've been seeing a lot and getting a lot of notifications about the economic stimulus package. Actually, it's called the Economic Impact Relief Payment. So I've been getting a lot of information or questions about that. And I've been getting a lot of notifications of people that have been going live on YouTube and other sources talking about this. And I decided, since I had did those few days in a row, that I need to come back on and let my people know that yes, I am hip to the game and I am doing research. And so the last thing that I left off on, we know that there is an economic impact payment that is coming out, also known as the stimulus payment. And I've said this before, and I'll keep saying this, that it's not really a stimulus payment. Stimulus is supposed to, I mean, I might talk about this tomorrow because I have a scheduled thing to come on tomorrow also. It's supposed to stimulate the economy. This money that they are giving you, they recognize that most Americans, one, need to pay their bills, so they're not going to be going out shopping. They're not going to be going out doing frivolous things, which then generates the stimulus for the economy to keep the economy going. But you're going to be paying your bills. You're going to be buying groceries. You know, very few of us are going to actually go out and buy something we don't need. We're going to be paying for our necessities with this money. And so what this stimulus, for those of you that might be late to the game, which I don't know who is, at least not in America, the economic impact payment was released by the IRS on April the 15th. Some people got it a little bit before because they were involved with credit unions that went ahead and released the payment, I guess. So as soon as the credit union got it, they just released it to their clients, which was nice of them. And then some of us got it. I know I got mine on the 15th. And a lot of people that I know got it on the 15th. And then there were some people that got it on the 16th, some on the 17th, on the 18th. And it's been trickling in ever since. What I do know is that there are qualifications for this economic payment. And so if you were, and this is a huge thing, if you were a dependent on someone else's return and you are over the age of 17, there is no money for you. Okay? There's no money for you. Now, that being said, if you are 18 and over and you filed taxes in 2018 and 2019, they are using that information, or I should say 2019 or 2018, they are using that information to calculate your payment. And there is a IRS website, or there on the IRS website, you can go to irs.gov. That's irs.gov. You can go to their website, and there is a calculator that you can use on their website. And on YouTube, I'll have it later on in the description. And for those of you that are on my tax tip page on Facebook, And I will put that link for those of you on YouTube that may want to go there, because I'm a little bit more active on that page right now. You can go there and you can see on the tax tip page that I've already posted these links. But for my YouTube people that'll be watching, I will post most of those links in the description on this video. So basically, the qualifications or the eligibility was, one, you have to be a U.S. citizen or a U.S. resident alien. That means you have to be documented. If you are undocumented, you're not eligible for this payment. And if you are working and you have a social security that is not yours and you are using that social security for filing taxes, and if you're using an I-10, sorry, you're not eligible, okay? Now, that being said, IRS, which is what prompted me, IRS has put up some frequently asked questions, right? And so I printed out those things because I wanted to read through it. And most of this stuff I already knew and I've already talked about it. But to be eligible, you have to be a U.S. citizen or U.S. resident alien, cannot be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return, have a social security number, and social security number, not an I-10, not a social security number that you bought from somebody so you could work, not that. You had to have one that was issued, a government issued social security card, that is valid for employment, okay? And the only exceptions to this are if you're in the armed forces at any time during the taxable year, you are the spouse of a armed force military, let me just say it that way, a military personnel, and you are none of those that I mentioned, you can still qualify because of your spouse, okay? So, if you're in the military, they're giving you a grace. That's the only exception. Otherwise, you don't qualify. So, if you are in college and somebody else claimed you because they are supporting you while you're going to college, you do not qualify to get the $1,200. And we do know for individuals it's $1,200. For married filing joint, it's $2,400. And then there is an additional payment for head of household and married filing joint that have children or dependents under the age of 16. So 16 and under, you got payment $500 for each qualified dependent. Now, what I do know is that they are they're fact checking, okay? So the IRS is not just going to give the money based on your word. They are fact checking. They're making sure that the children you've claimed are the children you should claim. Now, what that may do for some people, it may open up a can of worms because they may say, hey, look, when you filed your tax return, we didn't catch this, but since we're giving this money, something looks a little bit strange here. Can you prove this? Okay, so be on the lookout that when they start in July, which it probably will be a little later than July, because normally they start sending out those audit letters in July. I am assuming that there's going to be a lot more audit letters than normal because they're kind of going back over this stuff. So just kind of know. Look, Linda's going to tell you that I'm not saying it's set in stone. I'm not saying that it's verifiable. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that if they're touching the paperwork again, it could raise some red flags. So something you might have gotten away with because you claim Bobo's kids and them, you might have gotten away with it and got your refund. However, now they may look at it and be like, let's send them a letter. Okay? So just know there might be some of that going on. Retirees are eligible. If you're getting SSI or SSA, you are eligible even if you're not required to file. What does that mean, Linda? Well, what it means is that if you did not make more than the standard deduction for a single person or married filing joint, for a single person this year, it was $12,200. And for married couple, it was 24.4, okay? And then I think for head of household, it was 18. I always keep the single and the married in my head, but I believe it was 18,350. I think it's 18,350 for head of household. So if you don't make more than that, you are not required to file. Thus, since you're not required to file, you didn't have to file a tax return. So don't worry, you still get this money. What will happen is they will work with the Social Security and make sure however you receive your Social Security payment, that's how you receive this economic payment, impact payment. But they are not starting that until May. So you don't think, oh, well, I didn't get it. Everybody's got their money. I didn't get my money. If you're on Social Security, they're not going to start sending out your payments until May because they have to go through an additional step, right? So since they're going through an additional step, they have another entity that they're dealing with. We already know IRS is kind of slow, although they kind of shocked me on this one because I really didn't think any of us would get it before May. And here it is, April 15th, and we have our money. We thank God that they extended the tax season till July 15th because of the shutdown and the stay at home order. So you have until July 15th, which also means that if you owe them money, you have until July 15th to pay for it, okay? Without penalties or interest. So that's a good thing. The other thing is that, again, if you are not required to file and you live with someone else, like this is really for the parents that move back in with the kids, and the kids are taking care of the parents, and the kids are claiming the parent because they're paying the mortgage, they're paying the utilities, they're buying the food. The parent may just have to buy for their entertainment or whatever. And when you do the worksheet, they've paid over 50% of their support, then they're claiming them. That parent will not get any of the stimulus package, and that you won't get $500 for it. So you it kind of shoots them in the foot. And so I do know a few people that have been claimed as dependents. They're elderly and they are living with a relative, or they're living with their children, or they're living in a home where they are being claimed by someone else, and unfortunately they won't be able to get any money. Now the only other thing that you can do is if that person is willing to amend their return and take you off as a dependent, and then you can file taxes and or go to the non-filing status on the IRS, which the link will be posted, and you can then put in your information and get your $1,200. But again, if someone claimed you and they got $500 for you on their refund or part of their refund, they're going to have to pay that back. So you're going to have to see, maybe you can talk to them and say, hey, look, give me my $500. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you're going to do that, because on your own you get $1,200. As a dependent, you only get $500. So maybe they'll be willing to work something out with you. You got to talk to them and see. That's between y'all. I ain't in that. I'm not in that. My name is not whatever, and I ain't in it, okay? But you want to make sure, and the same goes with married couples that are now divorced, or married couples that are separated. Whatever the bank account is that you used in 2019 when you filed your taxes, and or if you haven't filed for 2019, what you filed in 2018, that bank account is going to be the account, and that address, if it's a check, is going to be the bank account or the address that the money gets sent to. So hopefully you are friendly with your ex, so you can say, hey, look, give me my portion when it comes. I want my $1,200 because they're sending you $2,400 because we were married at that time. I need my $1,200. It's legally yours. you've got to do what you got to do, okay? So even if you're not talking, I would be like, look, we gonna break cold silence here because I need my money and you're getting it. So give me my money. Don't make me come and get a lawyer to get my little $1,200, okay? But again, my name is Bennett and I'm not in it, okay? So you want to go ahead and do that, but those are the ones that qualify. Now there are others, like people who get not social security, but welfare and food stamps and things of that nature. I would strongly suggest you contact your caseworker and see what they are doing, if their agency is working with the IRS to make sure that you get your money, because this money is not taxable income. And so therefore you are not required to file. But like I said, there is an IRS, on the IRS site, there is the non-filers link where you can go in and put in your information, and that should be it. I also know that TurboTax has a program that they're running for the stimulus, and also H&R Block has a program that they're running for the stimulus. So if you call the office, H&R Block, how do I know? Because I work for H&R Block. I don't know if Jackson and all of them are doing it, but I do know that TurboTax is doing it. And if I'm going to give tax tips, even though TurboTax is sort of kind of is my competition, and I would suggest that you go to H&R Block to make sure you're taken care of, they are offering it. So if you're familiar with using TurboTax, then you can go to TurboTax and do that. Now, you don't have to do that if you filed your taxes, okay? If you filed 2019 and 2018, you don't have to do anything. They got you, okay? If you haven't filed, I would file 2019 as soon as possible, so you can still, because even if you didn't file 2018 and 2019, if you file them now, they're still processing and you can still get the money, because as long as they're processing, you can still get the money. But have no fear, because a little bit later I'm going to talk about what it's going to look like for when you file your 2020 taxes. So if you did not file, there is a link on the irs.gov that you can go in and do a non-filers, and it's just really walking you through some questions. Now, that being said, you need to understand that you will have to verify who you are. So make sure you have all of your information, your social security, your ID. On the IRS website, they do ask for a credit card or some type of loan information. So if you have a mortgage, or you have a car note or something like that, you're going to have that information, because they will want to verify that. That's how they're verifying you. Now, IRS is not texting, emailing, calling, contacting you in your DM, none of that. The IRS is not doing that. If somebody sends you a letter saying, hey, look, we need your bank information, it is a scam. Do not do it. People are losing their money because they're giving it to these people and giving their banking information, and these people are going and stealing their money. So do not, in your frenzy of getting this money, do not do something that you're going to regret. And I wanted to say don't play stupid, but that's not nice. So don't do something that you would regret, okay? The IRS is not contacting you directly to get banking information. You go to their website and you enter your banking information on their website, okay? Now, when you get your money, okay, like I got my money on April 15th. So April 30th, I should receive a letter from the IRS saying that this is what you got from us, and this is the bank that we deposited in, and if it's different than the amount that you qualify for, this is why. So they are sending that letter out, but that letter comes out after the fact, and they are not asking you for your banking information. They are telling you what bank or what address they sent your payment to. Now, the great thing about it is, I was saying earlier that people that are getting checks probably will not start to get their checks until way later, and it's going to take them about 5 to 6 months. What I understand now is that they are going to be cutting checks. I think they said 5 million a day. So those checks will go out a little bit quicker than or I shouldn't say 5 million a day. Yeah, they're writing checks, 5 million checks a day. That's what they're doing. So they are trying to get these checks out to you as quick as possible because they know that people need money. This is a numbers game, a waiting game. So those of you that are still waiting, especially on SSI, and those of you that are getting checks, just know that your money is coming. Now, if you were claimed as a dependent, there's no money for you. I don't know how to say it. There's no money for you, but have no fear, because I have something else that I'm going to be talking about today and tomorrow that may put your mind at ease. Okay. So we have, non-filers. If you need to go to the website, irs.gov, and file, you can go to TurboTax, or you can call up an H&R Block and say, hey, look, I wasn't required to file, and H&R Block is doing that for you for free. I don't know how long they're going to be doing it, but they are doing it for free. If you are not required to file and you are just filing for the stimulus, they are able to do that for you for free. Okay. Now, if you do a what am I trying to say? If you do a California return with H&R Block, you will have to pay for the California return, but the federal return will be free, okay? But you call them and you get more information. Call your local H&R. I got all kinds of people dinging me. I'm telling you guys, people want to know about this money. It's crazy. I get it, because if you just got laid off your job, this money is going to probably keep you in your house another day, right? It's going to keep you in your house another month. So I get it. I get why people are panicking, and they're hearing that, oh, I got this, oh, I got this, oh, I got this. And, I didn't have to do anything, and I get it. People are panicking, but I'm trying to get the information to you as much as possible and as quickly as possible. So I got all kinds of messages going on. So if you see my eyes going all the places, that's because all of these things are popping up. Okay. So if you're an eligible individual, you will get $1,200. If you are married filing joint, you'll get $2,400. And you will receive $500 payment for each qualifying child that you claimed on your return. And again, those conditions are that the child claimed it as a dependent on your return. The child is under the age of 17 at the end of the taxable year, which the taxable year, remember, the taxable year is 2019. And the child was a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, or U.S. resident, and the child had a valid social security number. So all of that has to be in place. That's why I said some people are going to find out that, they're being audited when they weren't audited for their return, but they're going to be audited because they're going back over this and they're checking stuff. So if something looked a little bit fishy, if it don't smell right, you might get an audit letter. So just be aware of that. Okay. So the eligibility income for this payment is $75,000, and then it will be reduced by 5% for every, I believe it's every $100 over the $75,000. Okay. So every $100 over the $75,000, it's reduced 5% until there's nothing there, and it caps out for an individual at $99,000, for married couple at $98,000. So it starts at $150,000 is the minimum to get the full payment, and then it caps out for married filing joint at $198,000. And again, you will get $500 for each qualified child on your return. If the child is 17 or older, again, there is no money for them and they cannot claim their $1,200. Okay, which is kind of messed up for the college student who could probably really use the money. Let's see what else. So here's another question that they answer on their website. Question 20, receiving my payment. Is the payment taxable as 2020 income? The answer that the IRS gave is no, the payment is not income and you will not owe tax on your payment. It will not reduce your refund or increase the amount you owe when you file your 2020 taxes next tax year. A payment will not affect your income for purposes of determining eligibility for federal government assistance or benefit programs. So it will not cause you to lose out on Section 8, on welfare, on Medicare, Medi-Cal, or any of that other stuff. This payment is for you. Again, it's supposed to be a stimulus payment that is going to stimulate the economy, but the money that people are getting, they already know that they're not using it for that because people are not working. And so they recognize that this is not going to do what they thought it was going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read over these questions a little bit more and see if there's anything on here. But I do know that there were a few things. If your bank account number used on your recent tax return is closed or no longer active, can you switch your mail? Can you switch and be mailed a payment? Absolutely. If the account is no longer active or it's closed, the bank will reject the deposit. You will be issued a check that will be mailed to the address they have on file for you. So there's two things you gotta recognize. You gotta make sure that they have the current address for you. Some of you people move every 3 months or every 6 months. Make sure they have the right address for you. There is a form on the website that you can go to, irs.gov, and I will put the link where you can go and get the mailing form and you can mail that in, or you can't call them. They won't take that information over the phone, but you can mail it in. Just know that that process takes about 30 to 60 days. So that's going to prolong your payment, okay? But you do want to get that information in there. And remember, this is something new. We're all going through. This is something that the IRS has never done before. We've done stimulus payments and things of that nature, but not to this magnitude. And there's going to be a lot of hiccups. A lot of people were complaining because the Get My Payment thing wasn't working. It actually wasn't live until Friday, but people were going in on Wednesday, on Thursday, before it was actually up and running. So they were getting all kinds of stuff. And so the IRS put up these frequently asked questions to try to alleviate some of the issues that people were having and get the answers to them. And if you need to find the information that the IRS may have on file, or if you're not quite sure where to get your routing number and your account number, if you have online banking with your banking institution, most of them have mobile apps and you can get that information off the mobile app. You can get it off your statement. I believe now most banks don't give you the account number over the phone. I know you can Google your bank and get their routing number, because the routing number is the bank. It's kind of like the bank name, if you will. It's the bank name in numbers. That's the routing number. But you will need your account number, because then that will say at Wells Fargo, the account number, the accounting number for Wells Fargo, or the routing number for Wells Fargo is all going to hit Wells Fargo, whether it's in California or New York. It's going to hit Wells Fargo. But that account number is going to let them know what branch, so you definitely want to make sure that you have that information, and you can contact your financial institution to get that and make sure that the information is correct. The checks will be coming through the United Postal Service, so not UPS, not anything else. Remember, IRS is not sending out any letters prior to you receiving the money. They are going to send you a letter 15 days after you receive your money. Again, using me as an example, I got my money on April the 15th, so by April 30th, I should have a letter explaining to me why I got what I got, okay? And what I was eligible for, where they put the money, and what amount I got, and why I got what I got. So if some of you'll get this letter because you were eligible for, say, $2,400, but you only got $1,800. Well, you got $1,800 because you made X amount of dollars more than the minimum. So just know that they are explaining the payments to you, but they are doing that after the fact, and they are not calling, they are not emailing, they are not texting, they are not hitting you up in your DM. They are not contacting you and asking you directly for banking information. The only letter that you're going to get is going to say, hey, you qualified for this. This is what you got. This is the bank that we put it in. This is why you got as much as you got, or you didn't get as much as you thought you were going to get. Okay? So that's what the IRS is doing. They're contacting by letter only, and that is only after you received your payment. Okay? So once you receive your payment, about 15 days later, you're going to get a letter of explanation from the IRS. I hope that is very clear. The IRS is not contacting you for banking information. You go to their website, or you file that non-filer's return with TurboTax or H&R Block, and that is how they get your information. Okay? They are not doing it any other kind of way. So I will read through these, and if there's anything in here that I think that I need to include in my update tomorrow, I will do that. But that is the economic payment. The Get My Payment is up. If you go to Get My Payment, that is where you go to change your banking information. So if you go into there and it says that they're going to mail you a check and it has not been processed yet, then you can you can ask them to send it to your bank, and you give them the routing number and the account number, and then they will say, oh, you've successfully changed it, and they will send you out. And then however long it takes for them to process it and get you your money, direct deposit, they will do that, and you will not get a check. Okay? So you're not going to get a check and a direct deposit. You're going to get a direct deposit and no check if you successfully change your information from check to direct deposit. If you don't, then they will mail you a check. If the information that you give them is invalid or incorrect, or the bank rejects it, they will mail you a check to the address that they have on file. So hopefully those of you that are kind of out there wondering what's going on and why you haven't gotten your money, this is giving you some type of understanding. Tomorrow I am going to be going over, because you know that there is a possible they have in the House and on the floor in the Congress, they are reviewing an additional or an amended, if you will, CARES Act. I like to call it CARES Act 2.0, where they are talking about giving $2,000 per month for 6 months to 12 months to every individual, and they are opening it up to include a lot more people. So it's not as streamlined as the economic payment, impact payment that just came out. They're opening it up. So even dependents and people that were claimed on other people's taxes, and I also believe non-documented and all of that, they're trying to include that, because they know that we have individuals in America that are working and contributing to the economy by working, but they are not getting this first initial payment because they are not U.S. citizens. And so this next one, and I'm going to get more information and bring that to you tomorrow. But I just kind of wanted to say that because that's what I alluded to earlier today when I said that there might be hope for some of you that did not get the payment. So there is a $2,000 payment on the floor. Someone said it's $2,000. Another person said it's $2,400. We just know that right now it is a proposed amount. It is a proposed bill. It has not been signed. It's not law. And so I'll keep my ear to the ground and keep, my connections and all of that so I can get that information and bring that information to you as information develops. But I want you to know that if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, that you can absolutely reach out to me on YouTube, on Facebook. You can email me at linda.hillman@tax.hrblock.com because I am a senior tax analyst. That's what I do. I am a tax preparer. I am a tax planner for my clients and things of that nature. And I will assist you in the best way that I can to make sure that you're getting the information so you are not walking in this thing by yourself. Just know that you have someone out here who is advocating for you and trying to get you the most current and relevant information, because I know a lot of people are out there talking. A lot of people are saying whatever it is that they want to say. They're talking about what they got and how they got it and this, that, and the other. And there's going to be some people out there that are doing some crazy stuff to get this money. And I don't want you to end up in jail. And so I am going to tell you the God honest truth, and I'm going to give you my opinion. It has nothing to do with who I work for. It has nothing to do with any of that. When I come on here and I give my tax, I'm coming as Linda Hillman, the senior tax analyst. Bunk H&R Block, bunk the IRS, bunk all of those other people. I am coming as a citizen, concerned citizen, and I'm trying to get you information because this is what I do. Right? I get information to you. I help you plan for your future. I help you with your past, your present, and your future so you can make sure that you get everything you deserve and you qualify for as it pertains to taxes, okay? So hopefully that gives you some information. If you were getting error messages, hopefully all of those error messages have been cleared up. I went in for my sister the other day to change her banking information. I had no problem doing that. So I'm believing that it is working. I did it on Friday and I was able to get through it. Other people had some errors and some problems, and again, this is the first time they've done something like this at this magnitude. And so there's going to be some bumps, and hopefully they learn from this. So if this other stimulus payment gets approved, it'll be a little bit more smoother. Okay? And I do know about the people that have deceased or died and got checks. I do know about that. And so I'm trying to see how they're going to fix it. I know Donald said he was going to, President Trump said he was going to fix it, but that's going to be millions and billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to fix that. And then, you have this widow who needs money, right? Because she's only getting a certain amount of money. Her money is fixed and she just got $2,400. You think she's going to give up half of it? I don't think so. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I will keep you informed. I will try to keep you up to date. I'm going to try to be a little bit more vigilant in coming on and getting this information to you, because I didn't realize that. I realized that people were wanting the information, but I didn't realize how badly they wanted the information. And I thank you guys for trusting me and for believing what I say, because some of you don't know me from Adam, and so I get it. Thank you so much, and hopefully you guys will continue to watch. If you're on YouTube, please like my channel. This is my actual first video. Can you believe it? I do videos, I do live streaming all the time, but this is my first video. And so I need to build up a following on YouTube, and I need For those of you on Facebook, if I've said something, please like, share this video with others so they can get the information. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns, definitely reach out to me. I know I'm not the only one out there talking about it, but I can definitely make sure, I mean, you go, when you go to the doctor, you get a second opinion. So get a second opinion there. If you heard your friend tell you, especially if they are not tax professionals, if you heard them say something, if they're not a CPA, a tax lawyer, an enrolled agent, a paid tax preparer that has a P10 and a C-Tech number, because I'm in California, a C-Tech number that says that I'm licensed to do taxes, they don't have any skin in the game. I have skin in the game. When I sign my name on your tax return, if I've made a mistake, I have to give an answer for that. And I get penalized for not doing my due diligence. I get penalized for doing just craziness. And so when you go to your cousin Barbara, and she does it at her kitchen table on TurboTax, she is doing it in your name. So guess who IRS is going to come after? They're not going to come after your cousin, your auntie Barbara. They're not going to come after your cousin Barbara. They're going to come after you because they're going to think you did it. And when you say, well, my auntie Barbara did it, I didn't know what she did, they're going to say, well, you signed your name to it. Okay? Not the case when you come to me. When you come to me, I sign my name as well as you sign your name. So they know who prepared your taxes and they know who gave me the information. And if I don't do my due diligence, believe me, I will get a letter from the IRS saying, explain yourself, sister. And I got to explain myself or I will be fined. And I will no longer be able to do taxes legitimately. So I have skin in the game. So I'm not going to tell you something that's not going to be verifiable. It's going to always be verifiable and it's always going to be for your benefit. So again, thank you guys so much. Love you all. And I hope that you guys are being safe. I hope you're staying healthy. And I hope that you are looking out for the less and for the high risk and the less fortunate people that are living on the streets. Make sure that we're showing love in this season and in time, because we'll get through this together because we're better together. You guys take care of yourselves and good evening.